What are you insecure about? Your height, weight, age? For my producer Joe, it's always been his boring hair. And as a result of his insecurity, he's always struggled with loneliness. Now, what you're about to watch is a true story about how we decided to get him a hair transplant. Would it fix his hairline, his insecurity, and possibly even his loneliness? Let's find out.
When I was 25, I lost everything. My mother suddenly passed away from cancer, and my girlfriend, who was my best friend of 10 years, left me. I learned that life doesn't care about you, and the world is ruthless. That year was finally the year that I accepted that I was going bald. You see, people used to say I was a good-looking guy, but due to my hair loss, every time I looked at myself in the mirror, I'd see an ugly, decaying version of myself. I would obsessively count all the hairs I shed each morning when I woke up and after I showered. I felt like I would have less options when I wanted to start a family. My hair loss was a constant reminder that life was slipping outside of my control. One day, while scrolling through Facebook, I saw this image of myself. I saw how old I looked, how miserable I was, and I decided I had enough, and I would finally take action and do something about it.
Up until this point, Joe had tried hair massages, shampoos, supplements, and you name it, but he had little results to show for it. He tried everything except for one thing: surgery. Now, Joe's always been scared of surgery, but we felt like we had no other option more than that. I was skeptical of its effectiveness. Natural methods of healing was my specialty, but surgery at this point seemed like the quicker option, and this was an opportunity for me to learn. So I wanted to facilitate this. I began doing research for Joe and wanted the best of the best and wasn't willing to compromise. We first visited one of the highest regarded hair transplant clinics in the UK. The doctor there explained to Joe that he was at a novel 3A and has lost 75% of his hair. He examined Joe's donor area and said they'd only be able to harvest 800 follicles. In other words, he said Joe shouldn't expect to have a full hair recovery after the operation. That was not what we wanted to hear. But we went to multiple clinics and they all gave Joe the same diagnosis. Joe was shocked and felt like there was no hope. I didn't know what the solution was, but I firmly believe that if there's a will, there's a way. I spent an entire week searching online in browsing forums. Upon further research, I stumbled upon a company all the way in India called Eugenics that have done over 150,000 hours of work in the hair transplant field and have published a scientific paper about hair loss. Other clinics have only done a few thousand hours in comparison and don't seem to have nearly the same level of expertise. When compared with other companies, Eugenics hairlines look far more natural. Reviews also said that the grafts lasted longer and there was less fallout. No other company came close to the quality and consistency of Eugenics results. The only problem is that the testimonials looked almost too good to be true, and it was all the way out in India. Joe was worried if it was safe. I was worried whether the results would be good or it was a big scam. What if we had no working Wi-Fi in India? What if nobody else spoke English and we were left alone and confused? We had more and more questions, but luckily Eugenics had an option to hop on the call with them to find out more. On the call, the representative Amandit was the very first person to say they could do a full hair transplant recovery on Joe. He had a very calming aura about him, a sort of grounded confidence.
He also explained that while most clinics could only get me back to an aging hairline, Eugenics would be able to get me back to a youthful hairline.
Who will be doing the surgery?
The entire critical part will be done by the doctor and the non-critical part will be done by the team.
How long do I need to come to India for?
So you can travel the very next day after the procedure as well.
What about if anything goes wrong? What kind of insurance do you have in place to, I'm protected?
Just say the area which we have marked and there's no growth of hair over there, absolutely empty. We take full responsibility of it and we have not come into a situation where there have been unhappy patients or patients who have complained about it.
Joe was still skeptical, but it was enough for us to take this risk, so we chose a package that works best and set a date.
I've just got a message from Eugenics onboarding and it looks like we're going to India for my transplant.
That's great. Then we can bring the natural method family along.
Okay, you ready to go to India?
I love to go in.
Let's go. Just woken up, and hopefully this is the last time that I wake up with my hair like this, like a unicorn. But yeah, huge breakfast this morning. For my surgery, because I'm going to be on the table for about 9 hours, so it's going to be difficult. It's like an airplane ride. You always need to expect the worst and hope for the best. And that's what Austin tells me.
I'm not scared.
So, yeah, let's see how it goes.
As we headed to the facility, we were worried if we could speak English with our cab driver and if we were going to get lost. This made the reality of what we were doing very apparent. What if the language barrier was a problem for the surgery? There were still so many other unanswered questions too. Was it sanitary, safe, regulated? Most of all, was I putting Joe in medical danger by traveling to a new country? When we got to the facility, it was spotless. The equipment looked new and the staff seemed super professional. They were also super accommodating. While we were waiting, they said whatever we wanted, we should let them know and we put them to the test.
The person who comes, we just get up and fly. I just press the button, whether he comes or not, I don't know. Let's test it again. Oh my God.
If the hair transplants were as effective as the fly killing services, we were in good hands. We headed into the consultation where the doctors plotted where the hair was going to grow back.
I was told by previous doctors that I had lost 70% of my hair, and I was worried whether or not I'd have enough to move to the front. But luckily, Dr. Erica had a solution.
Reverse thinning going on. So hair are getting miniaturized here, as we will try and avoid harvesting from this zone. If we are short with the number of grafts, then we'll take it from here, the lower part of the hair.
After designing the new hairline, we prepared to make the slits where the new hairlines would be implanted. Even after choosing the best hair doctors in the world, I was still nervous about the needles that were coming up. At a different clinic in India, there had been a report of this woman's son dying from a hair transplant. I was worried that this could be a life or death scenario, but I was willing to go through anything to look younger, and I prayed that I was in good hands.
They put some numbing cream on Joe's head and Dr. Erica herself started plucking away and transferring the hairs from the back of his head to the parts of the head that needed them. With me there to oversee Joe's procedure, I could see that they were extremely hygienic and reassured Joe that he would not get an infection. The anesthetic made it so that it felt completely painless. So far so good.
But then out of nowhere, I was immediately struck with fear. I remember reading something online about drugs being bad for my health. Would growth in one area of my body lead to a lack of growth in another? Was my love life doomed, no matter what? At this point, it was too late. My fate had been sealed. I just had to wait and see. After the procedure, even though we could only see a bit, I could almost already tell that there was an improvement. But it was still too early. We had to monitor how the hair would grow out. You see, a lower than usual density hairline transplant can create a balding style hair or create a doll-shaped hairstyle. On the other hand, too much density can also create unusual looks and even damage the natural hair follicles on the scalp. The next few months would tell whether or not if this was going to be a success.
Joe had to wear a little hat to protect his sensitive scalp from the wind.
You have to spray your hair with a saline solution every 2 hours to prevent itchiness. So, just gonna do that now. Okay, I think that's too much. Okay, it's kind of stinging now too. It's a bit painful.
He also had to slip upward. That part must have been a little bit annoying. But hey, no pain, no gain. But with that out of the way, our tour guide took us sightseeing before we headed back home.
How are you finding the Taj Mahal so far?
The Taj Mahal is amazing. I mean, it's all about love. Love conquer all, man. I'm very happy. My dream came true. I've always wanted to come to the Taj Mahal.
This is when I realized that most people that we came across spoke English and were very welcoming to us. We also had a rare chance to meet Dr. Pradeep and Dr. Erica outside of their work. They treated us like old friends and even gave us entertainment. We will never get this type of service in the US. This showed me that they really care about their clients and will go above and beyond for them.
See you guys. Bye-bye.
Okay, so it's about day 46 of my hairline transplant, and today the hair is looking thicker.
1 month in, Joe's hairline started to come in. He was shedding for a bit, but the doctor said it was normal. Joe was nervous, but it was framing his face, so he had a little bit of hope. At 2 months, the side started to come through, the redness from the procedure fading away. The hairline became defined. However, the left temple needed to become stronger, and the hair overall needed to be thickened. At 3 months, it began to thicken up, and it started to look good. Every week, he started to see more and more progress, and he felt his confidence regaining as each strand of hair thickened. Still could use a little bit of progress here though. At 5 months, he noticed that he stopped obsessing over his appearance whenever he saw a mirror. At 6 months, he noticed that he stopped counting how many hairs he shed on his pillow or during showers. At 9 months, his friends stopped making fun of him and he stopped becoming jealous of others with thick hair, and more of his hair grew and thickened.
Fast forward to today. My hairline has made a complete recovery. My temples have come in and my hair is thickened throughout. The best part is I bet you can't tell I've had any type of surgery. And most importantly, my has been unaffected by the recovery drugs. And what's so crazy is that for all these years, my lack of hair was like an hourglass, slowly ticking down the seconds until my end. But now it feels like my life has just begun. And I look forward to each new day. And to top it all off, I was able to meet her. She's someone who makes the rainy days feel brighter, and she makes every meal taste like a 5-star dish. And most importantly, she likes me regardless of whether or not I have hair, and I no longer feel lonely. And my newfound confidence allows me to show up and be present and be the man I need to be for her and for me personally. That makes all the journey, all the struggles, all the uncertainty, all of that just worth it.
In Wing Chun martial arts, I teach students to make the first move and advance cautiously towards the opponent, and at the right moment, suddenly charged. And that reminds me of the lesson we have learned today. If you have a problem, you need to make sure to first do your research, have the proper experts in place, and then take decisive action to solve your problems. If you do this, you will accomplish your goals and find happiness. I think Joe's mom will be proud of the man he's become today. Thanks for watching this video. And once again, special shout out to Eugenics in India for changing Joe's life with this hair transplant. Another special shout out to our cameraman Raj. All the contact details are in the comments below.